Reading four study questions. Study questions for the first Aristotle reading from his Politics. Number one, Aristotle says that, quote, man is a political animal. Why? What does he mean? I think that, you have to sort of maybe understand the word polis, P-O-L-I-S, which means city or city-state or just generally political community. The kind of community that has a common set of laws, customs, institutions in which the people live a communal life together on a certain level of complexity. That we are by nature political animals insofar as we are meant to live in such communities. He says that the polis is natural. It's a natural outgrowth, and it is something we are meant to do, live in such a community, a political community. I believe that's what he means. Number two, Aristotle says that the basic building blocks of the state, or polis, is the family. What does he say are the basic elements of the family? I just wanted to clear that up, right? Because, of course, he means mother, father, sister, brother, parent, child. But he also means servants and slaves. That is, the building block of the state is the household, family, or oikos. O-I-K-O-S, oikos. Translated sometimes as family, sometimes as household. That does not just consist of blood relatives or people who take on the traditional roles within the nuclear family or extended family, uncle, aunt, grandparent, father, mother, sister, brother, cousins. It also means the servants or slaves who are part of that, and it might be a little different. He considers, this is important, obviously, for his, such as it is, his defense of slavery, that the slave and the servant is part of the household, natural part of the household. Number three, Aristotle says that, quote, the state is by nature clearly prior to the family and to the individual. What does he mean? Prior to, in the sense of logically prior to. One of the things I might have said in class is that the state is to the individual and the household as the flower is to the seed. Right? The seed comes before, is prior in time to the flower, but the flower being the end goal, the thing that everything is sort of leading up to and is for the sake of. In a certain sense, the flower is prior to the seed, insofar as there has to be the idea of this end goal or perfected form to understand the imperfect earlier forms. Right? They're all leading up to this. So the state is prior to us insofar as the state is an outgrowth of our nature, the thing that we are striving towards or developing towards, the way that a seed or a plant or an embryo is developing towards the fully formed human being. So prior in the sense that it's the goal, it's the purpose, it's the thing that everything is leading up to and is taken for granted as the goal or purpose or aim or object. Number four, do you think that human beings by nature were meant to live in political communities? Why or why not? It's talked about this mostly in class, open-ended question. I don't know. Somebody in one of the sections said, well, what am I supposed to say? No? Are you supposed to be cavemen forever? I don't know. I was thinking it is questionable. Just read a book about a famous book from the 60s about the Pine Barrens. That large, incredibly large, surprisingly large area of New Jersey, of central and southern New Jersey, that is pretty much wilderness. But there are some people who live there, and the author is talking about why they stay and what they value about it. And one of them is they like being isolated. They like the peace and quiet of not living. Those people do not live in a polis, right? They have, people that they see in very, very small communities. They don't live in a polis, but they like it that way. Some people want to build a cabin in the woods and get away from everybody. So I don't know if we're by nature meant to live in the polis. Something I've always taken for granted. I've never had any attraction to live anywhere else but in a city and to be part of a political community of some sort. But I'm not saying I don't know if that desire is universal or that somehow you have to to be fulfilled as a person. I think there are plenty of people who probably take exception to what Aristotle says, but on the other hand, many of us would just say, well, it's obvious. We have to live in these communities to, you know, make progress as individuals and as communities. So I don't know what the answer to that is.